Jason
Ralph,
Fichter, welcome.
thank you.
Happy to
Appreciate
have
it.
you here today. Just wanted to chat a little bit about you, and I've gotten to know you over the last probably 6 months or so. Really enjoyed that. Got to meet your wife Sophia, and really have enjoyed that. But we got to know each other with a group here in Fort Wayne, the Halcyon Forums. So we get to spend a little time monthly
Sure.
talking and kind of learn about business and our experience. And you've got a really cool story. Tell everybody about kind of your story about where you've come from. And I'll just say, Jason's the only person I've known that has retired in his 40s. So, the we all envy that and wish we'd have been able to do that. But you're in a great place, and you're an investor in the fund. But tell a little bit about your story. I think it's a really interesting story.
Sure. No, I appreciate the introduction there, Ralph. Yeah, it's been great getting to know you too over the last 6 months. My background story, I grew up here in Fort Wayne, south of Fort Wayne in Bluffton. Our family farmed and had a stone quarry. We still have that, and I still get to work with my family on it. We got a buyout offer, and I said, you know what? I think that this is a good time to change things up in life. And so I went ahead with it, but I still remained on with my family, just helping out. So yeah, now I'm looking for what's next, looking for some investments and doing some things on the side myself. And that's whenever we met, and you brought me into this investment idea and looked at it and said, you know what, let's give this a shot, see what
Yeah.
happens.
So you made an investment in the fund, and that's been what I think probably 4 months ago, 4 or 5 months
Yeah.
ago. And so what was it about the fund and the investment that kind of attracted you to it?
Sure. So I looked at the idea with you. Ralph explained to me everything, and I guess I looked at it and said, "This is something that makes sense." The idea of basically buying dealerships that are either underperforming or have potential. To me, it looked like buying houses and kind of flipping them, except about anyone and their brother can buy houses and flip it. It takes a pretty unique group of people to be able to buy dealerships and turn them into a dealership network, and then capitalize on all the better management that you can have by managing multiple dealerships at a time instead of just one. So I love the idea, the theory behind it. The return on the investment seemed practical, and the idea of equity ownership um, made it even more appealing. So
Yeah.
I said, let's go ahead and give it a try. And on top of all of that, honestly, Ralph, you incentivized me just by looking at you and your life. I didn't see you as someone who's out for extra greed, extra money, but you're looking for ways to better the world. And raising capital in a situation like this made sense to me, that why you would raise capital this way. Felt confident in you and what you were putting together, so I was willing to jump on board.
Thanks. Well, I appreciate that. And, getting involved with Kyle and Ryan Coleman and the group. And, I had a lot of confidence in them. So I've been able to kind of bring that back and, as part of the fund and having that offering, I try really hard. I don't want to be pushy to anybody, but certainly I absolutely 100% believe in what we're doing, believe in Kyle and in the team to grow it. And that's exactly what we've seen over the last, almost a year now, not quite a year, to have four dealerships that we own. And so, being able to kind of show that opportunity to others is something that's really important and has resonated with you, and hopefully over time we'll give that same opportunity to other investors as we continue to grow.
Sure. No, I think you're doing the right thing.
So um, tell me a little bit. Another interesting thing, I've learned a little bit from you, but tell us about some of your other investments.
Sure. Cryptocurrency is actually my biggest side investment. Still own some land, but cryptocurrency looked to me about 5 years ago is whenever I first found it. Um, and I'd say I went pretty hard into it right
Hopefully you
off the
bought a lot of
start.
Bitcoin 5 years ago.
I did buy some Bitcoin, not a lot, but I kind of spread my risk around. Looked at some things. I didn't do any of the crazy meme coins, I guess you'd say, but went with things that I thought were had potential. Ethereum, Solana would be two of my favorites if I had to pick today.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been interesting. It's been fun to watch. Back then, AI, robotics, nuclear, small scale nuclear energy. Those are the things that interested me the most. I didn't know how to invest in any of them correctly, so I kind of went with the crypto route, and that's where I am. Why I am where I am today. On
So is that what you spend your day monitoring and kind of studying as
Sure, I would say crypto does take the majority of my free time for investment. So it's more of a hobby to watch at this point, just because I'm already invested. I already have my long term plan and thesis on where it goes. Now it's just a matter of timing, I think.
yeah.
So
And so Bitcoin, of course, the last few months it's down quite a bit off of its highs. Are you one of those that really sees long term that's gonna, it's gonna be a 100 or a 500 or $1 million per Bitcoin?
yeah, I am a long term believer in it, and not just Bitcoin. I think people do get tied up on the different coins.
Yeah.
Bitcoin does have its use, and I think it's going to be fantastic. I definitely think we will see 500,000 within 10 years. I'd be shocked if we don't.
Which,
So
doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a 5 times return. If it's 5 times return in 10 years, pretty
yeah,
darn good.
and some investors might say that's not that amazing. I view Bitcoin as a safe one. So if that's safe to go 5x in 10 years, to me that seems like a good gamble.
Yeah. So do you get up and look at the price every day?
Yes, I would say I check the price every day. Yep.
I've got some investments like that. It's like they're long-term investments. I really don't need to look at them every day because it doesn't matter. I'm not selling whether it goes up or it goes down. I'm in it. I'm
Yeah.
staying in.
Yep.
But we have a tendency to always do that.
Oh
So
yeah, I think the part of my mind that's just curious makes me check every single day. So
yeah. So what are you excited about going forward? Just general investments besides the Bitcoin.
yeah, I've got some other ideas, businesses that I'm interested in starting. I haven't really pursued any of them to the point of starting those companies yet,
Mm-hmm.
but putting ideas down, trying to get a full business plan and make sure I'm not missing anything before I would actually put the funds into it.
Nice.
So
Well, good. That's an entrepreneur is exploring lots of different things and see
yeah,
which one you ultimately land on
yeah.
and take. And
I'm really looking for things now that I feel like are both beneficial to me and to society. And if I can find those type of investments, I'm willing to put some money behind it.
good, good. So as far as your investment in the fund, anything you look at now, being in it for 6 months, that you say, man, I wish I'd asked this question or anything, or has anything surprised you?
Yeah, I've been very impressed at how quick that your group seems to be able to find dealerships and actually get a deal in place to purchase those dealers.
Yeah.
To me, that seems like a major undertaking, but that's because I don't own a car dealership and
Yeah.
don't know what I'm doing with it. So to me, I'd say that's actually been impressive. I heard the goal of 40 dealerships, and I thought, that's a pipe dream. But we all have to have a vision,
Yeah.
otherwise we don't push ourselves. And after seeing how quickly things have scaled up, I think you're going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And that's one of the things Kyle's just a master at is developing these relationships with brokers. What most people don't understand about the automotive industry and the new car dealers is there's 18,000 of them in the country. They're everywhere. And even take a small community, there may be 4 or 5 dealerships. There's a couple of GM dealers, a Chevy, GMC, maybe a Cadillac, a Nissan, the Toyota. There's just so many dealerships everywhere. And that's one of the things Kyle does well is be able to kind of look at those and pick out the ones that have the opportunities. And with 18,000 of them, I mean, think of how many of those turn over in a year. I mean, even if somebody owns one on average for 30 years, there's still a whole lot of them that change hands all the time. And so that's one of the things Kyle's done a really good job of kind of curating those into the ones that have an opportunity, and kind of being in that Midwest market that we're in. Because to be able to in 10 months, or actually I think it was like 9 months, be able to close on 4 dealerships is pretty big deal.
Yeah,
And
that's incredible in my view.
yeah, and one of them, the latest one we closed on back in January, it was actually 75 days from signing the purchase agreement to getting it closed. And
Wow.
Kyle will tell you, working with the manufacturer, they kind of chuckled when he gave him the original closing date. Like, yeah, we don't see dealerships close that fast, and got it to the finish line actually one day later than we'd
Okay.
planned. So it was the 16th, not the 15th.
You
But
didn't make it.
yeah, but yeah, that's something he's done well. And as you heard with Ryan Coleman, one thing that's really important there is being able to get in there and get the systems and get everything in place to be able to execute quickly in a new dealership, and not be languishing for a month or two of converting systems and doing things like that, and lose that kind of the traction that store may have.
Yeah. Yeah. No, listening to Ryan there a little bit ago, it seems like you got the right people in the right place, and he knows what he's doing. So I'm
Yeah,
excited for
yeah,
what you're putting together here.
that's cool. So, okay. Um, any other thoughts about the fund? Have you shared the fund opportunity with anybody else?
I've shared it with some people, just telling them what I was looking into and what I
Yeah,
was doing. I haven't sold it to anyone, but if I knew that they had money and they were interested, I would definitely be willing to.
yeah. What would you tell them just about the
Hmm.
fund? Just give us your 15-20 second rundown of what it
Yeah.
is you invested in.
So the part of it that I like the most is comparing it to a someone who would buy and sell houses, because a lot of people understand that concept. And on a house, you're talking 100,000 to 200,000. I mean, that's the type of buy market that most people are looking to flip a house.
When you start in
Right.
that
So
business.
there's so many buyers for houses. It takes a very special group of people willing to buy a car dealership. And there's a lot of car dealerships available, but there's not a lot of buyers, is the way I see it. So because of that, I think that the Coleman Group, this equity fund, I think you've got an amazing setup there to buy, rehabilitate, if you want to call it that, get it to its peak, prime, however you want to call it, and then run it for a bunch of years, or possibly flip it. Who knows?
Yeah. And that's one thing that, we kind of started out and got into the growth, and the first investment with the fund was buying dealerships that really needed to be turned around. So they were available for a pretty low price. I mean, it didn't cost a whole lot of money to buy it because it wasn't profitable. As we've kind of moved into some bigger markets, into, some of the large metro markets, you're buying a dealership that's already making money, and sometimes making pretty good money. So what you're looking for there is a dealership that you can buy for a low multiple of their earnings.
Hmm.
So, being able to buy right, whether it's buy a turnaround dealership, or buy one that you can pay, that's profitable, that you can buy for a low multiple. It's kind of that secret sauce in what we're chasing after to grow the company. Initially, we're buying the ones we didn't have to put a lot of money out for, and now we've kind of moved into those that are already profitable, and now we can start adding to the profits and really building. um, we actually have got one of our early investments, our early dealerships. We've actually are probably going to be turning that and selling that off. We got in, cleaned things up, got it into a situation where it's making money,
Hmm.
and now it's worth something to somebody else. So that's kind of part of that strategy. Also, is maybe take the ones that are going to take a longer period of time to make the kind of money that we want to make. Go ahead and sell that. We cleaned it up. We're going to make some money, walk away, and then reinvest that
Yep.
in another market.
No, when I heard about that, that actually really excited me, because that tells me that you're not tied into something. It's not an emotional connection that's too strong where it wouldn't let you sell if the right buyer came and
Right,
approached you.
right. And so, I mean, I kind of look at it as, let's take a few of the dealerships off the bottom that are going to take a longer payback period. But the fact that we turned it around already, now it's worth a whole lot more than we paid for it,
Yeah.
because we're showing that you can make good money.
Well, and that also proves your turnaround ability. I mean,
Yeah.
if you've got that type of turnaround ability where you don't just have it as a theory, but you've actually, provided proof that you can do it, that right there should enable people to be willing to invest quicker than anything.
Right,
It
right.
strengthens my confidence, that's for
Yeah,
sure.
and hey, we all want to learn, and I think we've got such a great team that we're all open to learning, and being able to say, hey, let's go ahead and redeploy that capital that we can take out of that store into another one
Yep.
in a bigger market, and try to build out some of those metro markets where if we can have 4 or 5 dealerships in one market, there's a ton of economies of scale there where we can now utilize the advertising for multiple dealerships, and some management there. You can benefit by sharing some of the management when they're close by. So
Sure.
definitely plan on redeploying some of that capital in those major markets.
Seems like a great plan to me.
So, okay.
Yep.
Jason, thanks for joining me today. Just
Thank you,
a
Ralph.
quick
Appreciate your
chat,
time.
but thank you for being a part of the fund, and happy to have you here.
Yeah. Looking forward to
Take
see
care.
where it goes. So thank you.
Perfect. Good job. Okay. Yeah, that was great.